Well, hello there, friends of Komodo platform, friends of Giuliano, because that's me. Thanks for joining and watching this video and giving it a like on the thumbs up button and writing a comment and just, sitting back, paying attention, relaxing yourself, focusing, and hopefully learning something here and just having things to think about, not necessarily even learning something, but maybe just intriguing your mind, giving your thought processes something to work with. So we are here, we are friends of KMD. Maybe we're enemies of KMD. KMD has hurt many of us in the past, not on purpose. It's just how life goes sometimes. KMD seems to have a mind of its own. Well, let's try and read its mind, the mind of this market composer that we call KMD price. I want to first highlight the monthly candle that just closed. Then we'll take it to a weekly time frame, and then we'll go longer term and discuss patterns. I want to talk about patterns because that I think is starting to help me understand better what is happening right now or what might be happening right now. Well, I hope you're doing well, and thanks for joining again, watching this video all the way through. You could put it on 1.5x, 1.75x, and then you'll be done sooner. Or maybe you could watch it twice. So what are we looking at here? We're looking at monthly candles. We are looking at monthly candles, KMD BTC chart on Binance. Let's remove these drawing tools and let's take a look here. Wow. This is our April candle. What a tall candle. Big wick, small body. I'm sure there's some sort of age-old wisdom about big stick, small body. Big wick, small body. Anyway, okay. Now, what we're looking at here is this level of about 5,500, 5,000 to 5,500 as this strong resistance point. We made it all the way up to 8,000. It was like we jumped really high, but we couldn't stay there, and gravity pushed us back down. However, look at this great movement here, 4 months in a row. Good stuff. 2021 has been great for KMD. Today is May 2nd. And yeah, we're looking at a bit of a fizzle. To tell the truth, we burned this whole candle down to here. And we're back at this kind of roughly 5,000 level, 4,000, high 4,000s level. We're wondering, okay, are we going back down? More short term, are we going back down, getting lower prices and then going higher? Or are we even going lower than this, 2,000 level? I don't know, but maybe understanding the patterns will help us. Now, one thing to think about is that, okay, on a short time frame, you know what, it doesn't even matter. If you want to pick up on the cheap against BTC, this is roughly the time. There's no better time than being in, I'm going to enable a rectangle and it's going to enable everything. So there's nothing as beautiful as, oops, there we are, as this buy zone. Okay, why not? Anywhere in there and you look like a genius by the time we reach higher levels. From here, 4,000, 10x is up here. So it's a bit high, right? But if it dumps down to the 30s, then 10x is only here. Well, I say only here as if this zone right is not massively difficult to pass through, and nothing said yet about this zone here. And this is on a monthly scale. So when we look at long term, we're looking into the year of 2022 to really think about where we might be. Yes, we could get a nice tall pump candle, but yeah, we want some health here as well. We want some health, and we need to build health in this price pattern in order to reach further levels. So let's take it down now. So we see this kind of weakness, strength weakness on this April candle. I think it's playing out part of a bigger pattern that's going to work its way through these two boxed areas. We do have this confluence here coming up of the current uptrend from the beginning of the year with the previous 2-3 lower highs. Okay, from April-ish 2018, April, May, and then again, again March, April. Interesting. And then that's 2019. 2020, we were not there between May. We were touching a different trend line during that time of the year. Interesting. April and May seems to be good months for KMD. A good thing to think about. This, we don't have the further data because we're not going to that chart yet, but there you go. So that's interesting. There you have it. So this one here of May of 21 coincides with the double confluence of the 2019 year, and then that single confluence of the 2018 May, April year. That's interesting. Okay, so now that these are monthly again, we're gonna go to the weekly. Boom. Okay, what are we looking at here? Weekly time frame. You know, we can get into ideas of patterns and stuff, and now that this looks like an impulse, however, what is it? Is it an actual impulse that's going to be part of a bigger 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 type of big impulse? Or is it more like an impulse that's part of a larger corrective pattern, which includes impulses? Oh, so now we might as well talk about patterns. Okay. Okay. Patterns. So patterns is like information. Everything has information. It offers information that we can gather. I was thinking about language and how language and information and conceptualizing is a very special phenomenon. And then we have, you know, everything seems to be geometric, because it brought me into this fractal idea and this idea of geometry, where everything is geometric. Everything is geometric in the sense that it has information, and that information can be grouped. And because of its grouping and classification and categorization, and just, yeah, that in itself patterns it. And when we, and patterning also has to do with behavior, movement, and that has to do with proportion. Well, proportion's coming in a moment. It's more to do with like cause and effect, which is more like, let's call it, I don't want to go to karma yet. Let's go to cause, effect, and the idea of like, oh, yes, that's what it is, force. So for example, action, reaction. Whoops. Right. So that kind of idea. Interesting. And because of that, we get things like proportion, because of, you know, the action reaction. There are forces that influence things like friction. What else? You know, you can think along with me, you know, you do your thing, but there are these forces that are involved. Friction, how do you call it? Like inertia, and then, yeah, those types of things. You know, if you want to go into momentum, or even even degree, I don't know. Anyway, it's just those kinds of ideas, right? So that allows, because it's fractal also, this relates to nature, right? And because a market is really nature playing itself out in this specific sphere of price action, of buying and selling, of going long and short, of confidence and fear, whatever. So now we're thinking, okay, because it's a fractal, it's self-similar. It's self-similar in the sense that, and it's iterative. Okay, it's self-similar, meaning it always relates back to itself, but it's iterative in the sense that it is not just specifically the same thing over and over again. It's dynamic. It has a different version of itself each time, but they're all based on itself, and they're all self-inclusive as well. But you can also localize and focalize. So you can have a global type of idea, a local type of idea, and a focal type of idea. And because again, it's fractal, it's like the point line plane postulate. Rob Bryanton, shout out to Rob frickin' Bryanton, baby, imagining 10 dimensions. So a point line plane postulate, plane postulate, anything can be, how do you say, given that point reference. And then from there, everything else is relative to it. So for example, the three-dimensional object can be considered the point, just as the literal geometric point can be considered the point. But we're not going there because that's not my main point. I hope this made sense, and I hope this is fun for you, because it's fun for me and I'm enjoying thinking like this. The reason we started thinking like this is because if this pattern here, if this piece of the pie here, this piece of the puzzle right here, if this is an impulse, which it looks like, but what is it really bigger? Now we're on a weekly, so that's pretty darn big overall, okay? But maybe this impulse, so if we look at different kinds of patterns that have been teased out over time, there are patterns like for example, a zigzag pattern, which involves the first leg, the first wave of a zigzag pattern involves basically a 5-wave impulse. And then you'll have a 3-wave corrective move, and then a 5-wave impulse. And that can be up or down, it doesn't matter in that sense, because it really, what is it? It's like now we're taking ourselves out into space. Where is up, where is down? There is none, really. It's just, what is the nature of the movement? Okay. So thinking on the weekly scale, I don't know, I guess based on these simple lines that I've drawn, I like this space to be taken up. Maybe it's going to cut it very soon and come down to 3,500 level. I don't see it. Even that 3,000 looked difficult unless we're really breaking down this line, which could very well be, and we could be forming, let's just imagine. Do we want a horizontal line up here? No, not yet. I don't know if I use it enough yet. Let's imagine that. And so now maybe it's a bigger triangle that will get fed, but then that negates a bit more of this impulsive zigzag. See, the zigzag would really take us into this green and yellow triangular space and then impulse us further. And then, by August, we might be up here around the 8,000 and really kicking it around here. And then who knows what we're going to do until 2022. But then after that, I hope you stay with me, because I will stay with you, and we're going to see where we end up. Okay, so that's just a general idea. Big picture is, you want some here, get some here. You're trying to play fun games of like grabbing the lows and the dips and all that, then set some orders. But overall, you're having fun. None of this is financial advice. Really, this is just observations and admirations. And so I hope you're enjoying it with me. This is for really the hardcore KMD crowd. I know you know who you are, and whew, ain't this quite a journey? We're going to be here for a while. We're going to be here for some years, decades, dare I say. Yeah. All right. Now, are you with me? Doesn't matter. doesn't matter. Let's just keep working here day by day. That's where we are here. We're on a daily chart. And now we're working the opposite way. Look at this. It could be a zigzag down. You see this kind of move here. However, it could be a zigzag down just here and then maybe something different here. And we might even be hitting, well, if this is a 5, then we'd be going maybe even lower. We don't like to see that. And just overall, it looks more like a down, up, down. Is it going to be truncated? See, oh, beauty. If it were truncated like a small C wave and we hit this freaking trend line here and boom up, beauty. You know why? Because that would make sense. That would be a sign of real good strength that it's truncated, meaning it didn't have enough strength to go further down. And then it would be part of the overall pattern of the zigzag, which would be a larger move up, like we said, towards this this higher region. And maybe it would take roughly the same angle, the same degree. That would be nice. We could make our way into, you know, like we said, July, August. That would be pretty cool. Stick around for that. Also, yeah, if it's coming down further than the truncation, then we are definitely, that's why I'm thinking, let's say 3,000 level is still in play. Okay. And even below that, like if Bitcoin goes up to 100K, you know, if it's super bullish and it's going to 100K, and we'll just take a look, KMD USDT, forget it. It's at 275. We're going to be going up, right? But in KMD BTC, wow, that could be an argument for a 2,000 Satoshi KMD. Yes, I would think so. So these are our 3 or 2 plays roughly right now. Play number 1 is like a 2,000 Satoshi play. Whoops. Play number 2 is a like a truncated version of this, but then, you know, we go up. Okay. Play number 3 is, this is a different kind of correction. Yeah, I don't really see that third play right now. Maybe this is a different kind. I don't think so though. Based on, let's see, let's do this. This is like a TA with me, you know, do TA with me. What is that called? Let's play. They used to do a let's play. Maybe they still have that. People would play games. So we did, yeah, I mean, it's a 38 retracement, didn't make it up to the 61 if we're considering from the high down to here, this body low or even the wick low. Yeah, so it's a, I don't know, that this, we don't know what's shaping up. I'm thinking these are the 2 most likely scenarios at this point. I mean, I'm sure you are, if you've been looking at the charts, that might be what you're thinking. However, oh, that's what I wanted to show. Okay, so now we're at this Ichimoku cloud I just enabled. Okay, and that makes most sense. Coming through the Ichimoku cloud, you know, sidekick over here looks most reasonable. However, we could be working our way above it. So that is one option here. Definitely one option is from here working our way over. I don't see us going into the cloud. I don't see the KMD composite pilot flying us right into this cloud. And if it does, I think it would be a quick rejection, either up or down, depending on the, you know, flight path, whatever is best for all of us. Yeah, so this is the basic idea on the daily. And this pink could instead, if it wants to, maybe it'll stay here instead. Okay, yeah, so that's your ideas. You see these numbers here on the right side, look at them. Those are for you to take a consideration of. Pause the video to get ideas of where you might want to set some orders and look at what plays out. Okay, I'm excited to look at it with you. Okay, yeah, just briefly the KMD BTC on, KMD USDT. Oh, wait, before we do that, we also just want to quickly look Bollinger Band. Yeah, we're stuffing it here. Look, we got this difficult time. Now we're at a pivotal point. If if we want to press up above this 20-day moving average, then we're definitely going to be going above. But it looks like we're having a difficult time. We're coming down below. That's the forecast for now. You know, just like any other weather forecast, don't know what to expect. Where's the 200 these days? Yes, it's nice and basing here. We are likely going to come and touch this 200, this line right here. Okay, and it's probably going to just start rounding up and meet us. Okay, so yes, exciting times ahead for KMD, and we are going to look at the dollar chart just to see if there's any difference. Oh, I meant to say on the previous chart, you'll also see if you look yourself, 150, especially the 50, the 50-20, we're starting to squeeze here. Why don't I'm showing my hand, talking with my hands again. Oof. The 50 and the I'm enjoying Get Aurox, by the way. I hope you are too. Hope it doesn't lag or anything like that and too much for you. Okay, yeah, you see we're starting to squeeze here between the 20 and the 50. So there's definitely an influx, a fluctuation point coming. The 100 is here. It has just crossed the 200. So that's nice. We don't have to worry about that. Worry is not really the right word, but watch for. So we're watching for what's happening here. So now this is a daily chart. So May 3, May 4, May 5, May 6, May 7. By May 6, 7, we are in a better understanding. So this coming week, we will know what is happening. We'll know what's happening with BTC. Right now, it's back down below the 57,000 level. We will know what's happening with KMD BTC, and we will know what's happening with KMD USD T in this case. And we are again looking at Binance, and this is a weekly chart, and we are not again clear what's happening, but this will be a different chart than the BTC KMD BTC chart. It's not really showing anything. Oh, because it's a USDT chart from Binance, which they didn't open before that. So one thing I'm noticing with Get Aurox, yeah, they're all a little bit. I wonder. I don't know how far back they go. They don't go super far back, and this video is long enough. But anyway, basically price-wise, look, we hit down on this $1.63. This looks more clean overall than the KMD BTC chart. It looks like we based out, and then we are making a proper impulse. So if this is the first wave, this is the third wave, then we are looking for a fifth wave. And if we had previous data, we would just plot it at about previous support resistance areas. But let's use a Fibonacci extension and see what will happen here. Fibonacci extension, and we'll go from where we think is roughly the beginning of the third wave, just to see, 3, and then we say it came down here. Okay, so 1618 level is roughly the 555 level. I wouldn't mind seeing that. And then of course the ever famous 777 level. Can't quite find it. You can't find it. It's not easy to spot 777. That's what makes it so special. Nests here. Okay, and then we have a 2618 at $8 and then a $10 at 3618. Anyway, so these are some ideas, but really we're looking probably at 558. Now, if it's going to be kind of more like a KMD fifth wave ending of this market cycle, we might not even make it much past the $5 level, to be fair. Or yeah, we'll make it to the 558 and that's about it. But if this is, yeah, we would want to clean that out. Anyway, here we go. We'll find out what happens. KMD USDT looking better. And finally, this idea. Now, I just wanted to mention something else I've been thinking here. What if we're thinking about it in waves, what if we have, for example, this low here being the final fifth wave, and the whole thing from, let's count it. I'm pretty sure this is a form of correction or some pattern that which is separate from the pattern starting in December of 2017 here on this chart, which might look something like this. Considering that maybe the fifth wave is the extension, and that this whole thing is a full Elliott wave impulse type of move with a fifth wave extension. And in that case, I mean, that seems reasonable. Otherwise, maybe some idea where there was like to here, but then, yeah, but with such a big move, how could it not come further back down? Maybe this is the full correction here for this, but that's so long too. So yeah, the idea that was just coming to me is maybe it's more like this, where you, because it's a down move too, right? We're imagining this is not an up move. So it has gravity on its side. It has fear and panic and that heaviness on its side. So that fifth wave, instead of ending here around the like 6,000 Satoshi level, you know, it couldn't recover from it here. It really dumped further around August. Okay. That's just the thinking right now. And then now I'm thinking, okay, so from this whole move here, we're correcting something. We're doing something. Maybe there's a smaller pattern playing out here on a bigger pattern. If we look at time-wise, just from this fifth wave, just from the fifth wave, if we look at the time, it's roughly, oh, we want to lose this. Roughly about 600 days, 650 to 675, 670 days, okay? And in that time frame there, so now we're looking at 22 months, okay? So half of that might be, well, what I've done here actually on the fib time tool, I wonder if it carries over to this chart. If we take it from here, the 4, and we go to our 1 unit here, which is, let's say, to January 21. I added a 1618 and a 2618 as well, just to get an idea. The 1 is here, the 0.618 is going to be back here somewhere, right? So I'm not too concerned, more so looking for time forecasting. And so 1618 is in 2022 around March. That's a time to look forward to. If you know, if this, like we said about Marches, Aprils, and Mays, so maybe that's a great time to look forward to. Yeah, so we might be needing to do some retracement at some point, but we might not be able to retrace up to the 18,000 level quite yet. We might take time here, but again, if it is actually an impulse wave down to here, why wouldn't it correct relatively? Well, here's the other thing. The time it took to get up here, it will correct, most likely will need to correct if it is actually an impulse wave. It'll have to correct faster, but doesn't mean that it has to get all the way down here before, you know, before this time. Yeah, even in March, if it gets up to this 18,000 level, but in March of 2022, that could be an idea. Because here's the other thing is, at some point, Bitcoin is going to become what it's going to become. Listening to or reading Jail 777's messages about Bitcoin and Litecoin and DPoW, it really opened my eyes a little further to the idea that at some point the decoupling of Bitcoin as like a monetary base and a corporate, or not a corporate, mainstream reserve focal point asset, it's going to decouple from the altcoins as actual viable realizable technology which offers value propositions that Bitcoin, although it may be able to offer, I don't know what time frame it's going to be offering, and maybe it, yeah, we're not going to go too much into it, but the idea being that there's going to be a shift into altcoin awareness, not for the sake of trading only, but for the sake of their value propositions and what value they bring people as people use them for the value that they provide within a growing crypto economy. Okay. So that's the idea. And so in terms of dollars, things might middle around here, like KMD might middle around here as Bitcoin rockets up, KMD dollar price can go up, but the KMD BTC charge is going to fuck around here. Pardon my Romanian. Now, the other thing that I want to point out is, I think, is that, yeah, we don't know exactly what's going to happen, but if we are making that zigzag impulse, which it looks like we are, it looks like around this August, September time, we could be at a high. And last season, around the August time, KMD was having a difficulty. However, the altcoins as a whole were in a bit of a we'll call it bull market. And then Bitcoin took over and they really dumped against Bitcoin. You could see KMD dumping against Bitcoin, and they basically retraced back to their levels or even lower than their previous lows, depending on which chart. So there you go. And now in terms of KMD, it's going to last. It's going to last, and it's going to be a big daddy, no doubt in my mind. So that's where we are right now in this idea. Okay. I look forward to sticking around and sharing more about KMD and just enjoying things happening. The price action is going to get really exciting over time, and we're going to watch it. So I hope this video was something of value to you, useful to you as a watcher, as a viewer. Yeah, move around, just like the markets need to move, get up, move around, walk around. That helps to move your fluids around. And that's going to be about it for me. Rehydrate yourself. Whew. Take care of yourselves. Bye for now.